So today in this video, we're gonna go through the process of sprint planning, where you have a team having developers that are using AI tools to complete the tasks that are in the backlog, right? So we're gonna take those tasks from the backlog, get the estimates for these tasks, including the AI generation estimates, and then by using those estimates and the team, create a sprint schedule, right? And on the sprint schedule, you will be able to see how these tasks are delivered on a timeline. And then you'll be able to see even the individual schedule of individual tasks, of individual activities inside of those tasks, like what of those activities will be AI generation and AI review, and which of those activities will be QA engineering and testing, and how all of that lands into a single timeline with the tasks paralleled or executed in sequence so that you can maintain the capacity not just on a sprint level, but also on individual member capacity level, and with the estimates that include generation and review of AI work, right? So let's get started. I'm using a tool, Deep Planner, which is right now this particular feature is in alpha, right? So if you want to see it in production and you want to track this update further, please subscribe to this channel or go to deepplanner.io to learn more about the product. Okay, let's get started. So suppose we already have tasks in a backlog and we already performed estimation of these tasks, right? So as you can see, this estimation consists of the subtasks that require AI, right? And as we can see, those tasks usually the estimates range from like half day to 1.5 day, right? So we assume that the work with AI will be extremely fast, right? And then we also assume that we'll need to perform some additional follow-up work to review the implementation, right? And that would be performed by humans. So we have the review and the regression testing, like all the testing activities performed by humans, whereas the original scaffolding and development is performed by a human with the help of AI. To create a sprint plan, I first need to enter the epics into the system. So let me just quickly do it, right? So create just a simple space. Let's do empty space for our sake. And basically, I'll just input those epics one by one with the estimates. All right, so this is the name. Okay, the technical work. As the estimate record, and here we'll be just specifying the actual line items, the development. So this is the another line item. All right, now this work is completed. So I actually entered all these 5 epics into the system and they're ready for scheduling. So the next step would be to add a team, right? A team configuration so that we know what capacity we have in order to complete our, accomplish our goals. So let's go to teams and just add a team. Uh, in our case, let's do one team with 2 engineers, like software developers, and 1 QA. And they work full time. All right. Save. All right. So now that we have our team and we have our epics, we can actually go ahead and schedule those epics and see which epics we can deliver in the next sprint. And the sprint could be, let's say, 2 weeks. Let's go to the roadmap and let's add here like a new time box. So that would be the name of the time box would be sprint 1. And then start date, let's say, for example, May 4th. And then the end date would be May 23rd. And then we're going to assign the team here. Okay. And then we can add the epics to this time box. Okay. So now we can see that all the epics were added successfully. Let's go over every single epic and see what particularly was scheduled on the roadmap, right? So let's go to the calendar. Okay, so we can see that the developer 1 was scheduled to complete this epic from May 4th to May 5th, right? And if we actually look at the original plan, right, we can see that because the developer is using the AI capabilities of like to basically code most of the solution, right? It can take them much less time to implement the requirements for this epic, right? So we can see that the amount of time needed is like a couple of days, and that's exactly what we see on this schedule, right? And for the QA engineer, it will take also around a couple of days to finish, to test and finalize the solution, right? To test all of the screens and UI aspects of the solution. So let's go to the other one. So here we can see the similar picture, right? So development takes a couple of days, testing follows that, and some testing activities are performed to verify the solution. So similar picture, basically we can see on all of the epics, right? And let's look at the diagram here, right? So we can even look up the diagrams to just look up the activities here, like how they're going to execute by dates. And let's look at more high-level picture of all of the epics and how they're scheduled. All right. So here we can see that some epics, they execute in parallel, right? So the epic about exporting data to PDF is executed by developer 1 and QA engineer, right? Then the other epic is executed by developer 2 and QA engineer. And then when QA engineer is testing the solution, the work can be started on other epic, right? Developers get free and they can resume the work on other epics. And so the work is done basically by like in the shifts, right? So as we can see, it's a pretty flexible and convenient system for planning, right? And you can basically, even with AI requirements, with AI generation, right? You can still plan the time pretty effectively, pretty quickly, and see how many epics you can deliver, and the other. Like assume the other requirements. Like for example, you can add work for DevOps, for release team, and that would match those teams in the schedule so that your schedule is looks efficient. So this is a good alternative to a capacity-based plan, because in capacity-based planning, like you can't just assign capacity to the team because, for example, you know how you don't know how the shifts will perform, right? You don't know how much parallelism you can apply, how many epics can be accomplished by like when you have a specific number of members. So you'll need to do a lot of math to do it, and you can just use the app and the flexible schedules to just do it more precisely. And in this way, you can calculate all the dates in a matter of seconds, like basically maintain the convenience of a regular estimation process.